What's up, losers? You already know what time it is. That's right, it's time for another r/fatlogic video. This is episode 19. Crazy. I didn't think I would get this far. But now that I am here, let's keep the momentum going. I've got some great posts to check out today. So with that, let's get right into it.
Loads of studies around obesity are actually extremely fatphobically biased. Studies have actually counter-proven the lack of causality between fatness and unhealthiness. Some studies have also proven that losing weight does not fix health problems supposedly caused by weight. Not to forget that it is very difficult, almost impossible, not to yo-yo when attempting to lose weight, which is more unhealthy than staying at your current weight. So basically, most fat people don't have a choice but to try and be healthy at their weight. But also it doesn't mean that they cannot be healthy. Whatever that means. I use the word here to simplify, but you need to be specific, as it is a very general term. Just leave fat people alone.
What we have here is a full-on smorgasbord of fat acceptance rationalizations for not losing weight. Just like one of the posts in my last video. This person is tossing out a whole bunch of loosely connected ideas to convince you that fat people really have no choice but to remain fat forever. The point of this strategy is to make it seem like the logic is overwhelming. Because there's so many reasons being offered, and it seems intuitively unlikely that they could all be baseless. The strategy also makes it easier for the person in question to avoid being pinned down. Because even if you call them out on one aspect of their argument that is misleading, they can just pivot to something else. It's all quite slippery, and I can see how it might be persuasive to someone who was emotionally invested in believing its conclusion. Which is more than a little worrying. All I can do to resist this is do my best to counter the individual claims. So here we go. It's easy for you to say that the studies supporting the link between obesity and ill health are fatphobic, and that the studies which contradict this are based, but the vast majority of scientists, and virtually the entire medical establishment, disagree with you. So basically, yours is the fringe position. You are the crank. It is not, almost impossible, to lose weight without yo-yoing. I don't deny that many people struggle with it. But it's completely possible, and achievable if one has a smart diet plan and the discipline to stick to it. Furthermore, while yo-yo dieting might be an unhealthy practice, it is not more dangerous than continuing to exist in an obese body and doing nothing about it. Because few things are more dangerous for one's long-term health than that. As much as you might want to tell fat people that they have no choice, that they are destined to be fat forever and simply have to put up with the consequences, this is not the case. If anything, this discussion around yo-yo dieting has only demonstrated that people need more education around healthy dieting, and more assistance in achieving it.
The calories aren't empty if they're filled with joy. Barbara, you turd.
Okay, so, setting aside the humor of this picture and its caption, I think it's worth talking a bit about the concept of empty calories. And why it's a useful thing to consider when planning out one's daily food consumption. Contrary to the sentiment expressed in the post, I don't generally consider empty calories a limiting factor in my enjoyment of food. Rather, I view them as a useful way of maximizing the amount of nice food I get to enjoy, by cutting out things that I don't view as essential. For example, I don't drink full sugar sodas or energy drinks. They are no more enjoyable for me than the zero-calorie options. And they don't offer me any of the nutrients I need to stay healthy. They are empty calories. By switching to the zero-sugar options, I am able to indulge in something else that I enjoy more. Like chips, candy, or baking. Obviously that's just me. Some people might really like full sugar Coke. and hate Diet Coke, in that case, they can continue to drink classic Coke and take the caloric hit. But if you take a closer look at the calorie count on some of the junk food and beverages that you consume, you might just find that there are some items there which are occupying a larger chunk of the calorie budget than the nutritional value. And the enjoyment they provide to you would appear to justify. And if you switch these items out for something else that you like better, or that is less calorically dense, and you can therefore have more of, you might be able to get greater overall satisfaction out of the food you're eating. So it's not necessarily a matter of eliminating anything that could be considered empty calories, but of making sure that you get the most bang for your buck in the food you eat, within your allotted daily calorie budget. Or, you could just eat all of it and be obese, I guess. Fat acceptance, right?
Could we maybe stop with the fat comments? I'm a big person, and I keep seeing people who are much smaller than I am calling themselves fat. It is clearly being used as a negative, pejorative term, and it's not helpful to anyone. It is hard being constantly told that what I look like is your worst nightmare. You may say that you are fat, but I guarantee the number on the scale is something I probably haven't seen since middle school. I just want to play, and get stronger, and move every day. It's not fun reading comments from people who hate people who look like me.
Well, if you want to keep moving every day, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to lose weight. But circling back to the beginning of the post, while I'm not unsympathetic to how it must feel seeing people smaller than you calling themselves fat, this is yet another instance of people making everything about themselves even when it means holding others to an unfair standard. Like, people are going to have negative feelings about themselves, and they're going to feel the need to vent those feelings somewhere. Because that's just human nature. These negative feelings might revolve around weight, but they can also revolve around other aspects of one's body image. Height, skin, hair, body proportions. These are all things that people might feel self-conscious about. And they are all things that those people will put themselves down over. In each of these cases, no matter how bad you have something, someone else is going to have it worse. If you have acne, someone else has burns. If you are of a below average height, someone else has dwarfism. Even the person writing this post, who clearly self-identifies as big, is inevitably going to be much smaller than some others. Because that's just the way of the world. Just because someone else might have something worse than you do, though, doesn't mean that you should just shut up and bottle up your feelings. It's unhealthy to expect everybody to hide their vulnerabilities in this way, and it's frankly selfish to expect people to do this just so you can feel better about yourself. Instead, you should try to understand their perspective. They are human just like you. Experiencing the same pain that you are communicating through your post. Is their method of dealing with this pain ideal? Perhaps not, but is it an attack on you? No, it's not, so don't make it about yourself. If this cycle of insecurity and self-hatred is going to be halted, someone is going to have to be the bigger person, and offer up compassion when their instinct is to respond with bitterness. Why not make that person you? As a side note, it's kind of funny seeing these hurt feelings over the use of the term fat, when the fat acceptance movement literally uses the word itself. I get that it's because the intent behind using the word differs, depending on whether someone is pro or anti-fat. But it's still kind of amusing to watch the whole debate unfold, haha. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the posts and my commentary. Such as it was. What do you think? Is it wrong of people to call themselves fat? Are empty calories actually filled with joy? Let me know in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Or I'll insult myself a bunch and make you feel even worse by comparison. Just kidding, haha. Anyway, catch you later.